Hey y'all. We tried to be posing for the first frame, and
Child.
YouTube will have you looking like this on the little thumbnail. So I don't even know
Yeah.
why. But we already got some people online. Hey, the 33. Go ahead and get your drink. Hey, S. Murphy. All right, all right, all right. Now we've been rocking with these recaps: Queen Sugar, Insecure, Greenleaf, and some other shit. We did some other stuff too, but I'm so excited because in addition to the regular crew, we got to make Erica a regular too. We have the Erica Savage Wilson. Hey, Erica.
What's going on? I'm so glad to be here with you, Season and Ashley.
Yes. Hey, Ashley.
What's up, y'all? Did y'all have a Merry Christmas?
Oh,
A Merry
yeah.
Christmas? Ain't that what Whitney said?
Yeah. Well, she bad
Right.
TV. Hey, Season.
What up, y'all? What's up? Shit.
Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties.
Yes, my house
Hey,
is a fucking
Sharon.
circus right now.
Okay,
Feeling the
because
Christmas spirit.
everybody has been dealing with these cancellations and all kinds of stuff. So Season has a fuller house than maybe she was expecting. So yes, shout
Yeah.
out to the family members accommodating
Hello.
the
Bless you.
cancellations.
You doing
But
the
okay,
Lord's work, girl. You doing the Lord's work.
Yes, she is.
hey, that's a
Amen.
Christmas spirit,
Yes,
okay?
it is. Extended.
Okay. So listen, our boiler is out. Why am I cooking today? It's been cold as shit in our whole house, but right now, I'm cooking my ass off. But it's okay. We're gonna get through it. That's why I got armpit. There ain't no armpits in here. So anyway, okay. If you got your drink, I'm drinking wine. What's everybody drinking on?
I got tequila, cranberry juice, and lemonade mixed.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wow.
Season.
Yeah.
You know my buddy never lets me
Damn, she
down.
got the bottle.
Yeah.
She has the whole ass bottle.
Because I was
Girl.
rushing. I was like, let me just grab the
Oh,
whole
okay.
fucking bottle, okay? Jim Beam, that's my homie.
Yes, yes,
Straight.
yes.
No ice, no
Erica,
chaser.
what's in?
I'm boring. I got my whole decaf green tea with the honey in it because I'm
Okay,
going straight to
okay.
bed. So,
Listen,
Yeah.
that's okay
okay.
too. That's okay. Sharon says she has brandy with lime and honey.
That
Okay,
sounds
Okay.
Yes.
good.
that's an
She over
interesting
there getting
combination.
lit.
Is that a hot toddy or what's going on?
No, that's a drink.
No, it gotta have peppermint in it, right?
No, it just gotta have liquor and honey
Oh,
and
Liquor and
lime.
honey.
So yeah, that might be a hot toddy.
That sounds like a hot toddy shit. But okay, we gonna get it started. Okay, so y'all, listen. We are here to talk about The Best Man, the final chapters, the series. So I always like to start off the recaps the same way. Stephanie says she got red wine in her glass. Okay, what is your rating? Now, Erica, you were here last week on the comments, so you know R10 is P Valley. What is your rating on a scale of 0 to 10? Erica, you get first dibs.
An 8.
An 8?
Yes, ma'am. And I was,
Okay.
and I think that's a strong score.
You
An
think
8.
so? Okay. Where did you
Yeah. So
dock a point? Where did you dock a point?
some of the stuff is just kind of lack of growth.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, they should have evolved, especially moving to 2024. I didn't like the docility. I think that like
Mm.
what Candace's character, Candace,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of like a whole think piece. Yeah, right there, season. Yeah, it was. I did not like that at all.
Okay. I think that's fair. I there were some things that I did not like about that. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. We're gonna get into all the little character breakdowns. Okay. Season, your score.
I'm gonna have to give it an 8 as well. Um, for one, I thoroughly enjoyed seeing the original cast. They didn't have to explain why nobody wasn't there, no
Yeah,
awkward
that's
bullshit.
nice.
Yep.
So that was good. Everybody looked great, and it kept with the same energy as the original and the sequel, but it did fall flat for me in a couple areas. But I kind of felt bad, like I might have been focusing on the wrong shit. Like, girl, just look at the damn screen and listen to the story and stuff. But you know, Miss Candy, come on now. What happened to you, baby? What happened with you? Then Robbie, we gonna get
okay. We're gonna get into
Yeah.
I docked it because I was
Ashley
wanting a little bit more.
Go ahead.
I want a little bit more.
Okay. Ashley, what's your score?
You know, I was gonna give it an 8 until my good sis Erica said the character development and how I gotta take it down to at least a 7.5 at this point, because for me, Regina Wiggs was just so trash. Like, come on, y'all. We know Regina Hall is fine as fuck. And she y'all making her look hella ugly right now.
No, she didn't look hella ugly, but the wigs were bad.
The wig was bad. It was like Aunt Vi's wig that one season.
And it wasn't just the wig. They would put a hat on the wig, a bonnet on the wig. I mean, the wig was doing overtime, y'all.
What was with that? What was with that? Because they had the budget. They had the budget.
That bonnet off her hair, I was like, I had to pause it and say, I'm done for right now. I gotta come back to it.
Oh my God, them wigs was bad.
Yes, I'm at a 7.5 because yikes, y'all.
Okay, well, I will say this. I thought I was being harsh because my score is a 9.9. I thought it was amazing. I was like, y'all gonna be mad at me because I took the 0.1 off, but I was like a 9.9, yes. And I'm trying to remember what I docked. Okay, I docked off the 0.1 because I did not like the ambiguity. To me, there was just one part of the ending that was ambiguous to me, and that was Harper and Jordan. I thought I wanted it to be super on the nose what happened with them, and I felt like I was like, what happened?
It was the same storyline. It's the same storyline with them two every movie, every episode. It's just like, will they, won't they? Are they, can they?
Yeah. And that was my whole thing. Like, because I feel like I was just like, okay, you started off with the soulmate and you pan to Harper, and then at the end we don't really get the clear answer, because when they went back to 2024, he was like, oh, friends, and then they went back to her. So I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on? You know, so that's what I have to docket a 0.1 off of, because I just feel like that was the biggest misstep for me, is that they did not, for me, and maybe I just missed it, maybe I just need to be more literal, but I wanted them to be super obvious about what happened with Harper and Jordan. But I mean, it was The Best Man, and like, to make The Best Man into an 8-episode series 25 years later and it still be popping, like, I feel like you got to give a round of applause for that. So,
sure. You know, we're going to give them their flowers tonight, because there's a lot of areas that they killed it on. Yeah. Nia Long looked amazing. That red suit, like, she was, there are areas that gets it, but I just wanted more. I wanted different. Yeah, I wanted the same characters, do some nostalgia for me, but give me something different than what they usually struggling with. Like, it just could have been a lot.
Okay, let's, before we get into like the episode breakdown, what did you really think though that like they lacked in terms of, because you guys are saying like in terms of the character development, you wanted something different. I like the original characters. I would agree to a certain extent. Like, yeah, there wasn't as much growth as you would expect in some of these areas. But I think, like, overall, it was fine. So, you know, each of you pick your own character that you're like, hey, this was the one where I feel like they could have done this with. I'll start up with you, Erica.
Well, let me say Robin's character. Oh God, that was a real place of contention for me, because, you know, in the recap, they go back and they show they're in the tub together, and he's all saying, and, you know, he said, she's like, I could love you like this for Erica forever.
Yes.
Do you love me? And he was like, yeah, but it's not that simple. And
what?
So
Yeah.
So that's like in the recap. But when we move forward and they're getting ready to go out with Merch, I think, and Candace, and meet them, and she's cooking and the babies, you know, sitting, and he's like, oh, okay, then we're gonna meet them. It's almost time for you to go. You're gonna change. And she was like, well, no, I'm fine what I have on. And he was like, damn, you going looking like that? Like that was the look I got from Tay Diggs.
I didn't even pick up on that.
And then she starts talking about cooking for 3,000 people with the subscription service. And so then he says, well, you need some help because it's the baby. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't y'all create her together? That's y'all kid. That's not her kid. That's y'all child. You're not the baby daddy. Like, you are her parent and you are married. So then he starts like having that conversation, and then she immediately switches and starts talking about him. And for me, I felt like, Robin, listen, you have played all the bullshit games. Own who you are. You enjoy cooking. You are interested in, seeing other areas possible. Like, own that shit. You don't have to continue to really kind of like placate to him, his ego, be in his world, because if he's not willing to include you and the child that you all created together in the way that he makes decisions, it was time to go when y'all were in the bathtub.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that like for Robin, it was easy for her to fall back on being like the supporting player, like the cheerleader. And that was Harper's comfort zone, was having her there, not really challenging him, but kind of being like rah. But I still have an issue with Robin, but I'll get to that later. Okay, Ashley.
Damn, it's hard to choose just one, to be honest. I was gonna say Robin as well, because my smoke is mainly for her character. I think they just did a disservice to her, honestly. But just for the sake of having a different answer, we can go ahead and talk about Candace. Like the way they handled that. It was just like bits and pieces put together, the way she looked. Now, I loved how they kept them as a couple and they got stronger throughout everything that they were going through. But like, it was just, it was so much unresolved tension with everything. Like, nothing had real closure besides them getting closer. Like the white bitch, he ended up seeing her again, don't say nothing to her, which is fine, right? But it's unresolved. Then you got her getting sexually assaulted. Now, granted, she resolved it later, but it was just like nothing in that moment, like it just she just came off weak to me. She really came off weak. And I wished it wasn't like that. I wish she was a little bit stronger within everything, but yeah.
And with that mousy voice too.
Yeah.
She was a fine ass stripper, and you telling me this is how she came out?
That was, and Merch ended up being an MMA fighter, and the stripper turned housewife is like got the I'm wigs on. It was weird.
I ain't saying she had to look like Shelby, but she could have absolutely looked. She getting her. It just wasn't. It was lackluster for me when it came to her.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I just feel like, now that you guys are talking, like the women, when they were going through things, there was not much like of examining their feelings of it. It's like, okay, she got sexually assaulted, and what we just see is like her like quietly mulling over it, crying, and no, she doesn't. I don't know. It just seemed like every woman in this show, their feelings took such a back seat to whatever was happening with their spouses. Like, nobody was like seeing them and what they were going through. I shouldn't say nobody. There were some good scenes, but overall it was not that. But I still liked it. Okay, Caesar, you were doing a lot of face making over there. So what's going on?
I'm gonna go against the grain. I love me some Nia Long. I named my baby girl after her. Her character had no growth, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
She was still the same.
Yeah.
Side chick.
Oh man!
Don't put that side chick label on her.
It's been 3 times now. She has done that side chick shit 3 times with him. Come on, we got to give it to her. She Gabrielle Union in the Best Man series.
First of all, Ash, this is my part, and you busting in with good ass points, bitch. I was just gonna talk about how the bitch done played this ambitious don't have a man because she too busy shit into the fucking ground, baby. We've been seeing this shit since 1995, 99. It's time to elevate. Like, bitches, women, we're doing it all right now. So for you to still be struggling like this, and then who the fuck is this Demetrius nigga? I'm like, they couldn't find nobody looking better than this motherfucker.
Thank you.
It was tough for me to really.
I didn't think Demetrius
was cute.
They could have did better.
Y'all, I spent half an episode wondering if that was Issa roommate or neighbor from Insecure. That wasn't him.
No, it was not. They don't look anything like.
That wasn't him. That was his uncle. Okay.
Well, I think he couldn't be so like if he was Idris, then we would be like, "Bitch, you better be with that man." You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was intentional.
Isn't he the nigga that Tasha killed in Power? He that nigga, right?
I don't know. I didn't watch Power.
He looks very familiar. He looked like the neighbor, the ghetto crip neighbor on Insecure. That's what he looked like to me, but I don't know. So, anyways, her storyline, I love her. She looked great, but nothing about her storyline drew me in. I loved how she was supportive of LJ. I liked them showing her in a mentor capacity. Yes. And of course, I like her showing up for her friends, but girl, she gave me nothing. She didn't have no real growth, y'all. I'm sorry. This meditation room, that shit was played out. Like, it was just like, you need to, if you ain't learning to live your life by now, there's really something wrong with you. And a vacation and meditation ain't finna fix that. So,
I mean, I feel like they did show range and depth in her character. However, I can't disagree with you that, I mean, at the core of it, her romantic decisions made no sense whatsoever. Like, okay, who gives a fuck? This guy invests in prisons. Like he said, you checked your pension. But I did like that they showed her showing up in her job, being a badass and like advocating for, you know, certain things that she wanted to see happen, advocating for her friends. And I think that part they nailed. And I thought the one part, we'll get to it later, about, you know, the pregnancy scare or maybe not so much scare, I thought that was really powerful too. But I mean, it doesn't make sense why she's that caught up in work still. That didn't make sense. Like, you've already made it, bitch. You're the fucking president or whatever. So like the lack of balance, it was weird. It was weird.
It was played out like that. No, that's not it no more.
And then on top of all that, like, okay, you know, there are some of the women who are like, look, like, okay, I'm riches, right? She was like, look, I'm a badass bitch. I'm handling my business, but I'm still gonna get my freaky dicky on. I don't want no strings attached. Like, they didn't even give her that. So that was weird. I don't know. I'm not trying to start rumors. I don't know if it's because she was in a relationship, so maybe she didn't want to show herself, you know, getting freaky dicky dick down on the screen. But if that was the case, that was a bad move.
Because that
you know, for her to have no sex life, no relationship, no nothing, that was not tracking.
Me alone, for that ain't even believable.
It's not believable. It's not believable.
Now, if she had them Candace wigs on, I would have bought it. But she's looking too good. Okay, look, let's go to some of the comments, then we're gonna get to the episode breakdowns. All right. Jay Book, Harper and Jordan was where they were supposed to be. They were respectful to Harper's marriage, just like Jordan said in the episode. She is not Harper's soft spot or soft landing. They're better off staying friends. I don't think she said they're better off staying friends. I think she was saying that he needs to heal first, and then they can get together. Okay. Yep. Okay, wait. Okay. I think that Tiny says Harper was always a villain of the show. He has been wishy-washy from the very first movie.
Period.
I'm gonna start a fight. And I'm gonna start it and then we go, but I'm gonna keep going and then we can come back to it. I think the real villain of the show is Robin. But I know. Okay, well, just marinate on that. That's the villain for me. Okay.
You know what? I thought she was a villain to the very fucking end. Very end. I was like, I might have a little piece for her. I might have a little bit for her.
Let's get back. We're gonna go to that.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to it. But Robin was the real villain for me. I'm sorry. Okay. 33 says Tay Diggs did his job because Harper was such a mess. S. Murphy says Harper has always been a mess. Yes. J. Rog says Harper is self-centered and selfish, only thinks of himself. Robin loves him and wanted to work. She stayed as long as she could. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Robin and Candace aren't part of the main friend group. That's true. They did have their own little bond thing going on too, but obviously that wasn't really the main focus. Somebody said not being Mary Jane. Okay, Jordan needs a Stedman, Graham, because Oprah with her man, right? Oprah's been getting consistently dick down for about
a decade.
Dick down for decades.
She's like, we're not negotiating prenups, we're not negotiating shit, but you my book.
But you gonna bring me that dick.
You can have your house in the back, walk these dogs when I tell you.
Period.
Me.
What a smile.
So if Oprah can get Stedman and have consistent, then goddamn it, Jordan can.
Jordan, what you doing?
Okay, so Sliver was killed in Ghost. Demetrius was the nigga that got killed in Ghost. Okay.
So that was him. So that's not the guy.
The nigga that got stuffed in the trunk. Okay. He should have got stuffed in the trunk this time.
He was on Power. I ain't watched Power.
Hey, Karina. Yeah, I had put 9:30 because I had to, but it was supposed to be 9. But anyways, she said I loved episode 1 and 2, but the rest WTF. The rest was good too. Karina.
Not fired.
Okay. Stephanie agrees. Harper's the villain. Okay, let me see. Ooh, Karina says Jordan and Harper are foul as fuck, but yes, Robin was a villain in the end. See, okay, we're bringing it back to me. Divorced the man, but the way she revealed her move to Ghana was beyond messed up. Okay, so
yep, Karina.
I wanted to go in order, but because since I threw out Robin is a villain part, we'll start here. I feel like Robin is a villain, not for getting a divorce, not for some of the other stuff that happened, because Harper was the villain. I was with Harper being the villain until her motherfucking ass gonna sit up there and say that she's moving to whole ass Ghana with their 6-year-old. That to me, I was like, no, bitch. I can't co-sign that. And what was crazy to me is, now this is, I think, episode 7 at this point, episode 6, 7. Is how everybody was kind of acting like Robin was being reasonable about this move. Now, I ain't never known. Caesar, what's going on with your lighting, girl? What happened?
I don't know. I still look cute to me. What happened?
You better say that, girl. I see your career.
I'm straight over on this side.
Oh, y'all stay clear. It's just me.
Got that Jim B.
Is it just me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, she look good.
Yeah. Shit is chill. I'm chilling over here.
Oh, okay, maybe my download ain't working. Just making sure.
Something.
That's my
That's Jordan moment over there. She got temporary blindness, bitch, because I'm straight.
We Gucci over here, bitch.
Look, okay, I'm having a heat stroke over here. Okay, give me a break.
Get together.
Dude, I need to turn something off.
You are wild, Season. You're wild, bitch.
Okay, my bad. I didn't mean to slander you. Okay, it's back. It's giving now. Okay. So I'm just trying to understand, because here's the thing. Ain't no fucking way a black woman is gonna ever get this amount of support for trying to move her child to a whole nother country. You're not gonna get that much support trying to move them across state lines, let alone a whole nother ass country.
That was definitely weird. That was
weird.
Okay. But I will say this though. Now, when they were in Saint Pierre, remember when they were on the yacht and she was just like, well, what about us make this home? She was like, you can write from anywhere. Would love for her to be around the cultures. So I think that, that was some shit. But, I don't think Harper minded as much as I don't think he minded. It bothered him so much. And this is why I think, of course, the initial reaction is like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Yeah.
But Harper is very much wrapped up in the world known as Harper. I mean, he named his daughter after a woman that he slept with. So yeah, Mia. I just
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I was looking at it as a tribute, but you do have a point.
He fucked her.
He sure did,
No,
and was in love with
ma'am.
her, and
Not
wrote
my
about
help.
her, and almost got his ass killed around
No.
that. So
Well, Robin crazy
yeah,
because she named the baby man too. The fuck.
she
Can
is,
y'all
but I
please
think
tag me in?
Ashley about to lay it down.
Ashley, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Ashley,
bitch.
what you
I
got?
think they've
Hey.
been writing. I think they've been writing Robin as a dumbass bitch since the first fucking movie. She ain't never made no smart decisions, so I can't even be mad at no fuckboy for acting like a fuckboy because you allowing this shit, bitch. You been with him for fucking decades. You had a kid by this nigga, and you fucking named your baby after a bitch that he fucked. Yo, you wild as fuck. You wild. I hate Robin so much that it low-key makes me hate Sinai, and I love Sinai. This was horrible. This was fucking horrible. And then what made me even more mad is when they came after this nigga, and it's like, why y'all mad at him? A snake gonna bite. That's the fuck they do. Like, why you mad he acting like this? This is a fuck boy in good ass suits. Tay Diggs has always been a fuck boy in good ass suits. And you telling me you really like Robin? You really like for real, bitch? You been dumb since day one, bro. Come on. They did this character a fucking disservice. She should have been divorced, and they should have been the divorced couple making it work, and then showing us how they're co-parenting. But y'all gonna send her ass off to fucking Ghana, like. And when he called her a fake ass African, that's the best joke.
When he called her,
that's what a nigga
I said, nigga.
That's what a nigga would say.
I was like,
they were reading the fuck out of each other. They both were
reading each other. That shit was trash.
I'm like,
they should have been that's what I'm saying. When you said character development, Erica, yes. That's exactly it. She should have divorced his ass, and then he could have been trying to date Nia, and Nia's dating other niggas too, because she should be out here getting fucked and sucked by these niggas. Wow. Come on, y'all play
exactly. For real, when you look at that friend group, you look at the 4 dudes and then the 3 women. One of them departed. Lance and both your boy Tay Diggs have both been with Mia, and Merch and Quentin have both been with Shelby. And then Jordan has been with Harper. It's incestuous. Like, they're all together.
They all fucking each other. It would have even been better if Robin and fucking Nia was doing some poly shit with fucking Tay Diggs. Give me a different fucking story than fucking Nia long, fine ass in here being a fucking side chick. That shit is wild to me. That's wild. Y'all wasted that bitch.
They did her.
Man, we should have had scenes of her rubbing her pussy across niggas' faces on that shit. They're doing all that. And y'all played her to where she got migraines from work. Come on, bro.
Wow.
Y'all wasted this character. Y'all wasted it. Y'all wasted Robin. Y'all wasted it.
I'm still sticking with my 9.9, but you all are making very valid points.
Yeah.
But I will. I just feel like Robin was the weakest link. Not because Sinai. I think Sinai played the hell out of Robin. But I didn't think her character was the weakest link. I just thought, like, whatever. Okay, let's go to some of the comments. Harper and Jordan did it before Robin ended it, so Harper is trash. Did they do? I mean, I feel like that was the one thing I didn't like. I didn't like the ambiguity because they had one scene where they got interrupted and they have another scene where they're getting freaky dicky. I don't know. Robin was definitely having an emotional affair with the produce guy. Also, the timeline was a little weird. Mia was 5, 6 or 5 out of 6 for years. I don't know what that means. I mean, I think Robin wanted to get her little spread her wings and fly a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
She should have cheated.
Cheated like
she should have fucked that goddamn mushroom guy. She should have cheated.
Mr. Shiitake.
Shiitake. Yeah, Taki.
Yeah, he should have called that nigga daddy. Yes.
He was in. What was he in? So y'all, I mean, I looked up.
That was another random ass nigga. Like, how is he a romance interest? There's nothing appealing about this kid. Like, what the fuck? I was very disappointed in the eye candy. I mean,
what? He is good looking. What are you talking about? You're talking about the mushroom guy. You're talking about the
mushroom guy. Yeah. What? Did we see the same guy?
Yes.
The mushroom guy was cute. Yeah. You tripping?
Maybe he wasn't cute. Not Demetrius. Maybe he wasn't cute in the first. He did look better when they went to Dukes or whatever.
Yeah,
he fine. He been in some other stuff too. He's definitely fine. I'm not with you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, y'all gonna have to send me his Instagram account because I was like, who is this random romance? And
I've seen him in something else, and so I recognized him, but I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. I looked it up. But anyways, okay. So Jordan will F Harper when he's married but not single. Ooh, Jordan is messed up. Okay.
Now all of a sudden you got morals because you don't want the nigga when he's single.
You really don't be
wanting.
You a hater.
Dang, that's messed up. That's y'all dogging Jordan, boy. I don't like that.
Years. Grow up.
I know.
You mean Gabrielle? That's who it is.
You don't keep calling that lady.
Gabrielle at least got married.
Every role Gabrielle has, she a side chick.
I don't watch her movies.
So. Deliver Us from Eva, she wasn't a side chick.
What's the movie?
Deliver Us from Eva.
1.
Okay, the mushroom guy was fine. Y'all, I don't remember that.
The mushroom guy was the girl. I never take my mushroom guy.
His lips were.
Don't worry, I'm gonna find him for you. Okay.
Okay, send him to me.
Send her a text because she got glaucoma or something's going on in the eye. Anyways, okay. Julie says, yes, she didn't stand up for what she wanted then in St. Pierre, but H didn't want to do that, so they didn't. Robin was her own villain. Okay, here's my only thing though. I did agree with Harper. Robin is flighty. Okay, how the fuck you go to Jamaica and you see a bitch in a hut on the beach cooking shit and you like, yeah, let's move here. No, bitch, that's not how we do.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works. So I'm with Harper on that, and it's talking about you can write anywhere. Like he's a successful writer, you know what I'm saying? Like them making movies and shit. You're cooking. There's not like, don't try to act like he could just pick up anywhere. And then your child too, picking up your child, like that was weird to me. How just nonchalant she was about going to Ghana for a whole summer, moving to Jamaica, moving to Ghana. Like all this shit was just weird. How casually she approached it.
But I think it was weird because they were like living 2 separate lives. So she was his support system. So she said something in one of the episodes when she talked about she felt like he would give her more because she was modeling what she wanted to be reciprocated. Yeah. And I was like, do you know me? Like, no. You communicate what your needs are. Mm-hmm. You tell, you share, like, that's how you do that. So.
And see, that's where I kind of started to gain some sympathy for Robin was when they went to couples therapy, and I was like, okay, she just really isn't articulate about her needs and want. She can definitely say what she wants to do in terms of her career and where she wants to go with that, but in terms of her feelings and needing support or wanting to feel fulfilled and being on a journey to find herself, she's not articulate in that area. So that's when I kind of started to feel a little bit sorry for her, because out of all people, she expecting Harper to be a mind reader, baby. You can't do that.
That was dumb as fuck. So, but to Harper's credit, he did really try when she articulated. It wasn't like, I know you're making that face, but look.
No, I feel like Harper did try to give her everything that she wanted. I feel like where she lacked was being articulate, and she was and really being clear about what she want. And then when she came in there like, oh, I'm finna take this little girl to fucking Africa, I was like, wow, you're fucking tripping, dog. Like you are fucking tripping. But then like when they met up at the house and was talking, and it just honestly, it kind of took me back to my divorce where it was just like, you know, you really just want to move on with your life, start brand new. And it sucks. It doesn't suck. She has this child now, but that shouldn't stop her. And, you know, she does deserve, whether we don't agree with how they were in the marriage or relationship, I felt like, bitch, go live your new life where you want to live it, how you want to live it. Apparently, you got the support of his friends, and in the end, he might not even really care that much. So I was happy that he gave that to her and was like, you know what, go be great, and I'll figure it out. Because men don't do that when divorces. They want to take every ounce of happiness and future you have from you. So I ended up being happy that Harper gave that to her, because she just wasn't able to articulate that that's what she needed her whole marriage. So he gave her what she really needed out of life. And that part is when I was like, you know what? I ain't mad at this shit no more.
Yeah, I still think it was fucking ridiculous.
I feel like stupid, but it was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let her go, because she's a minute.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be stereotypical here. I'm going to say fathers be like, okay, go ahead. But I do feel like, and maybe this is toxic or patriarchal of me, I don't know, but I would say if it was the situation were reversed, I feel like when you have a baby in a marriage, then you've kind of made a contract to, whether the marriage stays together or not, to have that marriage or that relationship be still at the forefront of how you raise your children. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of like, it's not like they was pop dipping and spinning one night, they had a one night stand, and then, 6 years later, she decides she wants to move to Ghana. Like, they entered into a marriage, they entered into parenthood as a couple. So I just think to make a move that was so extreme, that would really take a parent away from their child, like 14-hour flights difference, I just don't think that's reasonable, because it's not like they were doing their own thing the whole time. And it's like, well, what's different now? They had been a unit. Mm-hmm. And so even though they're not a unit in terms of romantically, I just think that was extreme. But at the end of the day, Harper eventually relented. So, okay, let's go back to some of the comments and then we're going to get to the episode breakdown because we haven't gotten there yet. Let's see. Karina says, I do think the real breaking point for Robin was Harper staying out late with Jordan. Yes, they were subtle about it, but yes, to a certain degree, I do agree with that. Harper didn't give Robin the store, so he didn't give her everything. That was true. I don't know if that was some passive aggressive.
He should have bought that store unseen.
Well, she saw it. It's not like it was like they looking at, like, she saw it. She said she wanted it. It was what she wanted to do. They had the money. So I don't see the problem. Like, he was ready to buy the she moved in. That was problem with Robin too. She did everything to please him. And then she's thinking, well, I do all this to please you, so eventually it'll be my turn. That ain't how that works. No. That is not how it works in life. Okay. There are people that will let you appease and appease and appease and accommodate. And they looking like, well, you should have said something. If you didn't want to do it, you should have said something. I didn't make you do it.
Speak up.
Speak up, bitch. Stand up. Okay. So that was her bad. But why did she have her own money? So that was my whole thing. Okay. If you have a subscription business, you have businesses and shit, you should be able to write the check, cut the check yourself. So I don't know what her issue was. If you can move your motherfucking ass all the way to Ghana with your kid, then you should have been able to buy a store in Brooklyn or Harlem. And maybe that was her little like get back. Like, well, if you had bought me the store, I wouldn't be moving to Ghana. But anyway, they didn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's see. Let's go. Robin's self-esteem has always been really low. She never felt good enough for that crew, which is sad because I don't think Robin is, she had no reason to have low self-esteem. But I guess maybe
the outsider.
Yeah. She didn't have her own friends. That's weird though. She didn't have her own friends. But okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, there's some stuff about Harper saw me as a kind soul. Harper is selfish and he knows it. Yeah, she a kind soul who fucked her dude's best friend. Okay. Why couldn't she call the realtor? Was she testing Harper? Exactly. Okay. So, let's move on back to some of this other stuff. There's some good stuff. Baby girl says Shelby should have got more flack for not telling Quentin that Kennedy was his daughter. That's true. How did you go from Uncle Quentin to Daddy? That didn't make sense. Woo, okay, that's true. They kind of got off easy with that. All right, but let's go back. Okay. S. Murphy says Robin moved to Ghana with that mushroom guy. That mushroom dude is still selling mushrooms in Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in New York. Okay, he is not in Ghana.
No. Oh, I sent y'all the picture.
Yes. So I saw him. What I remember him from, Tobias Trevelyan is who we're talking about. He was in the First Wives Club. Did y'all watch that on BT Plus with Jill Scott? No. Okay, I didn't watch it. That was good. So that's how I was like, okay, I recognize him. Okay, anyways. Okay, so let's go back to episode 1. Okay, so it was a little confusing for some people because we'd be on our phones, we'd be talking and shit. So if you weren't looking at the screen, you might have missed some of the timestamps. So the show starts starts in 2024. Harper is preparing for some kind of speech or some kind of appearance. And you know, they have this whole cliffhanger of sorts about if you're lucky, you end up with your soulmate. It pans to Harper. We don't see Robin nowhere. So we're like, what is going on? Then it immediately flashes back to 2015. 2015, Shelby is on Watch What Happens, talking about her, you know, she's a real housewife. Quentin is getting married. So the other show, the Best Man Holiday ended with Quentin getting engaged. And I thought that he was engaged. I just assumed he was engaged to Shelby, but we find out through Shelby's reaction that he's not engaged to Shelby. I love that scene because to me, like Melissa De Sosa, she played the hell out of Shelby. Shelby ended up being my favorite character.
She was my favorite character too. I loved her and Quentin together.
Yes,
they were
the healthiest couple.
They are perfect.
They had the most well-rounded relationship.
Yes.
Shelby was definitely she was the MVP of this series. We gotta do that.
Absolutely.
Pick our MVP. She's it.
MVP. And you know what? The one thing that made her the MVP too is I love that they showed her range, because I think as Black women, like if you are a little flamboyant, if you're a little I should say extravagant, over the top, if you can be a little bitchy, stand your ground, then people feel like that's all there is to you. But she was like low-key the most responsible one out of everybody, you know, aside from stealing somebody's fiance. But aside from that, you know, she was really the one who really held it down on the low. But because she has this big personality, people might not have caught that so much. So anyway, okay. But my favorite part was they showed the footage of her flipping out, and then she goes, and I was like, yes, Shelby. She was like, and so what? The fuck? That shit was so great to me. So we find out that Quentin is engaged to Ziamara, who Nicole Ari Parker did her thing. She killed it. I mean, she played this like hippie, like, you know, new age world celebrity icon. And I thought it was interesting how she was kind of in on this kind of transactional thing when it came to Quentin's father. But Quentin seemed really into it. So what do you guys think? What's your take on terms of Quentin and Ziamara? Like, was he kidding himself? Did he really, you know, because I don't think it was a business thing for him, but it seemed more of like a business thing for Ziamara. What's you guys' take on Quentin and Ziamara? You start off, Ashley.
Well, first of all, Nicole Ari Parker, I mean, she's sexy at any age. I'm so glad that she made an appearance in this. Because, you know, she one of our favorites from the Soul Food series and all of that. So, yeah, she absolutely was the perfect match. And I loved they didn't even bother having somebody say something about colorism, because they kept a light skin with pretty eyes with another light skin with pretty eyes. Battle of the light skin season. Did you see that?
We're not doing colorism on top of everything else. So yes, that they spared us. And and Lance ended up with a dark skinned woman, so there's no colorism involved in the series. That was good.
They did a good job with that. But no, I feel like it really was transactional for her. But for him, he really was trying to like find a different person and be somebody better to a certain extent. But it's like he wasn't himself. And the fact that I didn't like the fact that his friends all noticed this and nobody really said anything besides, you know, Tay Diggs' old fuckboy self. But it was just not, I don't know. Well, I would have said something more to him, but he looked like he was in love until Shelby's crazy ass showed up and he saw what love really is. She fought for her man.
I mean, I'm not one to normally root for a homewrecker, but Shelby had me rooting for her ass. Erica, what do you think?
I loved it. I think that they were a perfect match. They probably could have had a lot of killed the body count, probably cut it in half if they just would have gotten together, saved everybody a lot of heartache. But one thing I will say, I'm glad they got together, but like when we get to the part where it's going to be them. I was like, well, why didn't they fly the daughter in, especially since that's actually Quentin's daughter? I just thought that was kind of wow, because Quentin had been in Kennedy's life for such a long time. So I felt like they could have made that happen where Kennedy was there with them too. But I did love Shelby's character, and they're crazy matched. It was good to see kind of like, and I think that's what the audience was waiting for, to see what was going to happen with Harper and Jordan. Like, we see this thing, right?
Yeah.
The emotional connection is the most important connection in a relationship. So, because the physical, everything else kind of falls in place with that. So it was good to see them together, but I definitely agree with the other person that said they got off real easy with the whole uncle, which I don't agree. Having your children call people that aren't related to uncle, that's the whole thing with me. Like, but
Mr. Quentin.
yeah, or Quentin. I mean, some adults don't mind, but all of that to say, I just wish they would have been able to actually have Kennedy there at the nuptials, some kind of way.
Yeah. Season, last word on these two crazy people. You said you like the stripper scene, right?
Oh yeah, that shit was lit. I thought that was super cute. I just think that he was like, hey, I bagged a badass international icon supermodel, and I'm finna go through with this, and I don't really care how it ends. I don't think he really cared how it ended, and he probably would have kept fucking around with Shelby. So I'm glad that they got together, because it was clearly like a show, essentially. I didn't really take it as like a real marriage. Like, once the dad showed up and started talking about some partnership and shit, I was like, oh, okay, so this is like a business move that he'll get some enjoyment out of, because she is supermodel, but she might fuck around and cheat on his ass. So I just think it was gonna be an arrangement. But I liked how they got back together. I think it was hilarious.
Yeah, but I also liked the fight of it. I liked Ziamara. She was like, I know you fucking my man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like everybody knew what was happening and what was going down, and it was like trying to resist the inevitable. But I liked the whole arc of how it happened. It was more interesting than if they had just fast forwarded and Shelby and Quinn are getting together. So yeah, I give that a 10. But the whole that's your daughter, and he just like, oh wow, like that was weird. I felt like that wasn't a like moment for him.
And Terrence Howard showed his range too. He did a really they spent all their intellect and energy on that couple, because the other couples, I was just like, oh come on, be a little bit more interesting than this.
And he was from intergenerational. He was from wealth. I love that aspect of it.
I didn't know. Was that part of the? I don't remember that being a thing.
Others, no, I didn't know he was from wealth. They never mentioned that he was like an heir.
Yeah.
And I love that shit. I was like, yes, give us more of this.
Yeah.
In that area that you don't see black wealth with the hotel industry, never.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really good. Okay, we'll come back to Quentin and Shelby. Let's talk about Lance. Lance was fucking everything.
I was like, I don't care how many. I'll watch all the scenes of that shit. Yeah, that was it for me. That was what made me keep watching. I was like, he's gonna be fucking.
Because Morris,
great.
Morris Chestnut there. I mean, good Lord, golly, he been fine all his motherfucking
all his life. The fountain
crazy.
Of fine.
That's
he
crazy.
The fountain of fine. The fountain of fine.
Even with that old raggedy ass beard, he still was fuckable. God damn.
No, because when I saw the beard, I didn't realize that's supposed to be him looking bad.
I was like, that's him. Yeah, that's supposed to be him down bad. Simon.
Yes, and I'm understanding why everybody giving him pussy like this.
Wow, that was a lot.
In the limo, I was like, I love this because this is real shit. This is real shit.
Yeah, this is a Morris Stands account here. We stand for Morris.
Yes. Oh, wait, quick thing about the wealth. The first film, The Bachelor Party, was in the Spivey Hotel. I guess I just, that was a long
Damn, that's some
time
trivia
ago.
for your
Okay,
ass.
thank you, Sharon.
Y'all be knowing. I be barely remembering characters' names. Y'all knew all that.
Okay.
Okay.
So we the problem. We the problem.
Yeah. But you know what? And I saw some criticism about Lance's character and, blah, 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 and his lack of growth and chauvinist. I'm like, look,
I don't care.
we want to see Lance.
He Lance, baby.
Pop, lock it, drop it. Pop, lock it, drop it. Hey, we want to see Lord. Okay. The fuck? We don't want to see church boy Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, because he was a hoe. And that's how he lost Mia the first time, being a hoe.
Yeah.
So it was just like a return to that familiar behavior.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is real.
He was just doing the Lord's work by pleasing all these women.
That's
all I got to
say. I was not mad.
I wasn't mad. He lost his wife. He loved her. He was faithful to her. He put God first. He deserved this whole phase.
Yeah. Exactly. And we deserve.
We deserve that.
If you were mad at him hoeing, then girl, go.
You a hater.
You a hater.
You don't need pussy.
Watch the pool scene.
Yeah, and when he did that pussy, I said, "Now he know he wrong, but they should have put his ass out, but they didn't because they was
body, yada, yada, yada,
I wish I was
yes,
he did that. Thank you, Morris Chestnut, for
that was a gift. That was a gift.
Thank you, Morris' daddy and mom, for having
Malcolm
Lee.
I appreciate that shit.
Okay. I think everybody gets the point. But
Karina, his son flying like him
we
too.
Love Lance.
They never confirmed if that was Morris Chestnut's son.
I know. Yeah, I saw something about it, but I don't think it was his son. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Could be wrong. Lance's character wasn't as fleshed out as he should have been. Yeah, but he was still fine. So
he made up with it with looks. It don't matter.
Maybe that chocolate Oscar.
He ain't never got to open his mouth. He just got to look at it.
And he had like the perfect amount of screen time. Like they didn't waste no scenes with him. He just was that friend that was this what I fucked with when it came with him the most. He was so observant and he was always checking in on people like, hey, what's good? I did not really feeling it, whatever. He was just like that strong friend. I ain't gonna say that every girl need because I don't need a friend like that. I don't need a friend like that strong friend that
No,
I don't need a more.
Lance did that, and then they didn't spend too much. They didn't spend too much time showing him falling in love with no another bitch. They focused on him with his kids.
Yeah,
and dealing with that.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So let's move forward. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Jordan. We talked about Shelby. We've talked about Robin Harper. Okay, Candace. We talked about a little bit. All right. So let me just quickly kind of speed through because we've been at this for a long. We're not gonna be on here for 4 hours recapping this. Okay, we're gonna get through this. Okay. So episode 1. We get the wedding, or we find out that Quentin is engaged to Ziamara. We get Shelby popping up, trying to get her man back. Okay. And we saw some other shit, whatever. The face crunch moment though was Lance finding out that the butler wasn't. I call her the butler. I don't know, the hospitality manager. That she was engaged. Okay, so she was definitely acting. Well, that's what isn't that kind of like what a butler does? That kind of like, a concierge or concierge. Concierge. Okay.
Event coordinator.
Respect her
name. Okay.
Mr. Belvedere.
I was thinking, for some reason it gave me butler, but okay, concierge is better. So the concierge was, she was playing above the fray, like I'm not one of your little hoes. Whatever. So it was kind of predictable that where that was gonna go, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, episode 1 and 2 is Quentin's failed engagement, spontaneous marriage to Shelby. Then we go to episode 3. So episode 2 is set in 2015. Episode 3, we fast forward. It has like this, kind of like time warp where it shows you what happened in between 2015 and 2021, which I didn't write down. So we fast forward to 2021, come episode 3. Candace is working on her dissertation. Robin is a bigger chef. And Jordan is chief at embassy at this point. Harper is still selling books. Quentin and Shelby are still together. And so this episode was more so about okay, Jordan coming to her own, trying to make a stamp with the culture or for the culture and trying to catch Shelby. I thought that was interesting because, Shelby, she had to kind of like reel it in a little bit, dial it back. And I didn't know it. They said something about she was on the debate team or we want debate team Shelby. So this goes back to what I said earlier. I just love the range that they had. And Erica, you and we're in media, and I will say for me, people look at me as like the loudmouth black girl.
We on Instagram, don't do us. We got
no. I'm just saying, like in terms of the media space, there are times where people really want, or they try to pigeonhole you. I mean, people act like all I could do is cuss and fuss when I'm like, I've been on hundreds of episodes now of news programs. It's not like that's all I can do, but people want to still put that loud black girl thing on me, and I embrace that. But I have range, so I really enjoyed seeing Shelby show her range and still be authentic. So that was something that resonated with me in particular. And I like that Jordan went up for her friend. She was like, okay, instead of just throwing you out, let's pivot, let's make some adjustments. Erica, I'll give you a word on that one.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, I love that number one. It made me think about you, like, oh yeah, the door open, let me bring my sisters in. So I love that aspect. I love seeing that. I love that she was like, yeah, we up in this office, I'm the CEO of this bitch, and we celebrate like loudmouth black girls. Like, girl, yeah, guess what? So I love that element. What I did not care for is like when they pivoted to I guess a little bit more of a sharp look. I was like, well, bitch, did you age 20, 30 years? Like, I didn't. I was like, this is not the Sunday morning kind of like talk show rounds. I'm like, you still be who you are. If you're gonna throw on some specs, put on some specs. But I was just like, it aged her. So I'm glad she was just like, yes, bitch, up my wardrobe allowance 3 times. Was like, yes, let's get that together. So, but no, I love the whole opening the door and bringing in my girls. I love that, and I love that. Again, we see Shelby like a diamond, all of these different perspectives. We see her as a person who understands how to take, Asian parents and what's the best way to approach that. We see her as a mom. Like, I loved all of that.
Yeah, that was really, really good. I want to talk to you a little bit about okay, so wait, let's go to some of the comments because we have a lot of comments. Lance trying to play football game was stupid. Just be a coach. Like, yeah, okay, we're gonna get to that part too. Let's see. Episode 3 or 4 was predictable. I started to lose the interest. I thought it was still interesting because at the end of the day, like, I just enjoy Black TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I just enjoy seeing Black people doing well, living life, friendships and sisterhood and brotherhood and stuff. So I'm not always looking at everything to be like the most compelling TV you ever watched. Sometimes you just want to see people like shoot the breeze and have fun. Like Seinfeld, they wasn't doing shit. So it's like, okay, well, why can't we, do that? Hello, I'm trying to get the order back. Okay, come on.
Sorry,
I was used to the order and sorry. Okay, so anyways, but yeah, okay. Karina said I think they should have brought Brian back. It would have been interesting to see Jordan and him navigate their relationship in the current climate, but they were determined to keep her single. I don't really remember Brian because I only saw the Best Man Holiday movie once. When they killed off Mia, I was like, okay, I'm done. So I don't remember their relationship like that. But okay. They dropped the ball on Lance. I think Morris is fine, but it's not about him. It's about his character.
It's always about Morris, girl.
Okay.
I think wasn't cheating as college football player turned married man of God football star. Like, how deep was he gonna be?
That's true.
And
Okay.
grief
He
is
gave,
real.
baby. He gave. I don't care who nobody in your
Yes, he
comments say.
did. We're not gonna go back
Yes.
down there. Though. We're not gonna go back
I
there.
know that's the truth. Listen.
The 33 says it was great to see Black people over 40 living their life. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hello. Like
We
we're
out here.
here. Some of us
We
are
out
over
here.
40 or 40 plus, whatever. But anyway.
I'm almost half 100. I'm so excited.
No.
Yeah, when we get there, it's gonna be lit. Yeah.
Okay, hey, we still here, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, okay, let's get back to it. All right, so Candace, let's talk about Candace. We're just gonna go through Candace's whole plot. Okay, so Candace is working on her dissertation and she's trying to do this alternative medicine because I guess she was inspired by Ziamara. My whole thing is it fast forwarded 6 years, girl. So why are we still on it? But I thought that Candace's dissertation thing was the weakest plot that they spent a lot of time on. Like, it just gave me nothing. And, you know, did you guys watch 9 Perfect Strangers on Hulu?
Girl,
Yeah.
yes.
I just felt like they put Regina Hall's character in 9 Perfect Strangers and made her Candace. And I was like, this ain't, the math ain't math. You thought the same thing?
I said the same thing. I was like, damn, so this is a continuation? Now, see, it was the same thing.
I wasn't feeling that. I felt like they really squandered Regina Hall's talent. And I just thought the plot was just boring, you know, like, okay, so she's struggling with her professor with her advisor who's racist or whatever the fuck she was, and then she ends up getting this new advisor who seems like he's cool, and it turns out he's a fucking predator and sexually assaults her. Like, it was just like, I mean, I think okay, fine if you wanted to address that, but it just seems like for her, like, that wasn't about her character and her character's growth. That was more about, like, if we're doing like the little woke checklist, and I hate saying woke because white people have killed it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're trying to address certain issues that are more prominent now, it felt like, okay, that was a way to get it in there as opposed to a way to really serve her as a character. Like, did anything work for y'all when it came to Candace's character? Was there anything giving in the plot for y'all?
No.
It was just a big ass yawn.
Yeah, like she just had, like, honestly, I would have been happier if, like, instead of the professor trying to like molest her, I would have been happier if he would have been like, you know, I remember you used to be a badass stripper. Like, I kind of wish that past maybe would have came back a little bit more, because she just had nothing interesting or spicy about her, and it was just like, bro, what is you doing? And then I thought she was kind of gonna have a come to Jesus moment a little bit about all this research when she came home and her kids was high, and it was like, girl, you doing all this research, you fighting for this and that just to really get your kids high. Like, that gotta fucking hurt or suck for you to really just be going off. Like, in the end, your kids are just getting high, baby. Like, that's how you're dealing with their anxiety. So I kind of just felt like it was definitely boring. I feel like they could have, instead of her getting harassed, I feel like they could have had her maybe address her past again or something. Because I kind of feel like they would joke more. I feel like in Best Man Holiday, I remember them making a lot of jokes about it. So it's like, well, what happened to that? There was no, and then, but I did like this. I liked their high scene at the New Year's Eve party way better than the scene where they were high on the resort. So she was,
yeah, that's true.
And they could have switched her hair. She had that hair for fucking 6 episodes, y'all.
I know she had the hair for a decade.
It back on one of them. Like, they tried to pin it back and shit.
Why they be doing that?
I've had several hairstyles this year, so I don't know how the fuck she had the same hairstyle for a whole ass decade. Come on.
But this is the same lady that hosted, what was it, the Emmys, the Oscars? What are y'all doing?
Regina Hall is so beautiful, but I feel like sometimes people
Yeah.
feel like if you're a comedic actress, then they want to downplay your beauty, and I just think that sucks because I think she's way more beautiful than what they gave her. But yeah, I just think that it just like I mean I think it's reductive to say that she did all that to get her kids high. I mean, there's a whole thing about it. I just think it's not as much, like maybe with this audience, it's not as much like microdosing and things like that people talk about,
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is some nuance there that really, was lost because they're just like, you want to get your kids high. Like that was what, everybody's interpretation of it was. But I just don't, there was no payoff. Like did she succeed in her dissertation? Like, I mean,
they showed her holding up a diploma in the green screen pictures at the end.
Yeah, but you got your PhD and she was on the cover about taking down a professor, but like it was a lot of focus for pretty much it was anticlimactic. Whatever happened at the end, I didn't get it. And I just feel like, it was just easier maybe because let's be honest, it's a man behind the show. Maybe it was just easier for him to focus on the work part than to try to bring in somebody to explore, how it is being a mother and having these different facets of your character and trying to keep you sexy and trying to keep yourself, like whatever. They just dropped the ball with her. So
they did. I think that like with so it was a lot of things in it. And I think that it would have been if they would have if her dissertation would have been around body autonomy or, women's women being not first class citizens necessarily. I think if it was something like what Season was talking about, wanting to see something from her past, like there be some kind of reconciliation. Because to me, it always felt like she shrunk because of shame. I'm like, bitch, you went to college, you graduated,
right?
You got a whole, undergrad, you got masters, and your ass is, duking it out with your dissertation chair. Like, put your fucking head up, like. You don't have anything to like hang your head down about. So to me, I felt like her dissertation should have been a way to really for her to take charge of her full life.
Yeah.
And that would have, I think, kind of shown some growth and development. And
right.
Oh shit. Okay, then, I wasn't looking at Candace for real or paying attention to her last time, but like I'm paying attention to her. So the whole thing that happened, unfortunately, with Dr. Temple would kind of make sense.
Yeah.
And then like her then being on the cover with New York Mad with them other two white chicks, like it would have all made sense. But the whole thing about, like because her children suffer with anxiety and stress, to like the focus be plant medicine, it was wild. It didn't make sense. It just made it more boring.
Yeah, it did because they weren't really. It's not like fucking Grey's Anatomy where they're using medical terms and shit. They never got into it. It was just, it just gave nothing. And I just felt like it was just a time waster. And, but I did like that Murch and her had a solid relationship. I mean, they had some distance between them, but he found himself. And I feel like, I don't know if she really found herself, but I like that he found his edge because he was like the joke of the friends, right? I mean,
yeah.
they made it like a complete buffoon in Harper's movie. And he kind of got his like edge back with the whole MMA thing, which I love MMA, so that was cool. Any comments on that?
I just feel like their storyline had no conclusions to anything. Like, okay, they came home and they saw these two girls high and they did nothing. You didn't show them like locking it up. You didn't show at least you having an educated conversation with your kids because you're doing a dissertation on it, right? So they don't show you sitting down having this conversation with your kids. Everything, like even with the sexual assault, like you didn't turn around and slap the fuck out of that old ass man. I'm not understanding. When he put his
not everybody would react like that.
Well, let's say this: he has never flirted. He's never given a look to her right that I saw. And then all of a sudden, he's now in this intimate spot of having his hands on her shoulder. It was out of nowhere.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
It did come out of
nowhere. Because when I saw it, I was like, no.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that. I was really hoping that they would have kept him as a mentor for her.
Me
and
too.
kept her story going with, a more of growth versus like, golly, we gotta watch somebody get sexually assaulted in here. We gotta see a Karen that, even the Karen shit. It was like, we gotta see some Karen shit with no resolve. Come on, this is our story. It's our fucking story. We should be telling it better than this. So like, I could have, the MMA shit, I understood it, because I felt like he had all this pent up aggression that was building between these situations that gave him that outlet. So that made sense. But her going through this whole dissertation and getting in school, being assaulted by her teacher in her 40s, like, it's just, and they dressed her so fucking homely. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, that was terrible. You know what? I kind of feel like it was giving like respectability politics a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she might have been a stripper, but look at her now. She's getting her PhD and she has these fucking horrible ass wigs and she's super homely. Like, we don't need that. That's okay, bitch. If you was a stripper, like that's nothing wrong with that. You ain't.
She looked better when she was broke as a stripper than she does now when she married and got money. Like, how she look worse? What's going on?
Well, because she's like, but you're the lawyer, and I'm going like, ma'am, stop that shit. Like, like
she played herself
like,
small.
No, we please stop. Because now I'm thinking about what are you messaging to your children? Like, cut that shit. Again, you are in a doctoral, you're in a terminally degree program. Hold your head up.
I feel like the amount of work it takes to get there, it just wasn't matching with her very low confidence level, and just she was flat, she was frazzled, she just looked overwhelmed, and it's overwhelming, I think, to go through that level, that degree of research and stuff, but it just what was, like, I think Jamila said, what was the end game? Like, I don't think we had much of a payoff from that whole plot line,
it just felt old. It felt like that might have been a good plot 10 years ago,
I think the plot
now it's like alternative medicines and weed and shit and anxiety and treating that shit naturally. Like, I feel that's way more acceptable now. I feel like her plot was kind of just dated a little bit. So I don't know if that was more of a flashback or what, but it
was 2021.
Okay, so I feel like that maybe 10 years ago would have been a good storyline. Like, she's on some cutting edge shit and everybody finna really understand her. But now, right now, it's just like, man, everybody on that weed shit. It's not nothing. They giving dogs weed. So, it felt a little dated for me, but it wasn't any end game. And I did like merch. I liked him doing MMA. I did like seeing that part, but that's all I really have for them.
Yeah, I feel like I think that they probably were like, we want to have a Me Too moment. And then so they just like reversed it back and put all this other shit in there just to get to the Me Too moment. When the Me Too moment really felt out of nowhere. So I get it. Whatever. Okay. All right. So I'm going to end on Quentin and Shelby, because I feel like their whole arc of everything that happened over the course of the season, that was the real heart and meat of the series. That was my favorite part. So before we get there, we got to talk about LJ and Lance and that whole plot. I think that it was very well done. I thought that, probably the target, the audience, maybe, and I'm stereotyping here, but I think that the audience that started with The Best Man in 1999 or whatever it was, 25 years ago, probably isn't as accustomed to some of these conversations about pronouns and non-binary and all that kind of stuff. And so I felt like they did it in a way, like the Candace Me Too moment, it just felt a little forced. But I feel like this was done in a way that did not feel forced at all. It felt like they really made good use of the time, of the characters, and examining, parents and children and the complexities around that. Erica, I'll give you the first word on this. What was your thoughts about that whole plot?
I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that that was a part of the storyline, particularly when you look at their faith and the fact that the mother was definitely the nurturer and the glue for the family in a sense. And so I grew up with the movie because I'm 45. So it was like I grew up with these characters. So to really see Lance's first response, I think it was really important because that's real. Like this, we were talking about the whole years. Like we all pretty much agree. Like that was a real thing because that was like his behavior before. So seeing his first reaction and then seeing him having an internal struggle with, oh shit, his son literally is like, and had been thinking for quite some time that, you know, I wish it would have been you instead of mom because the acceptance factor was so
the best
far
line in
removed.
the whole series.
Girl, would you come?
And he was like, say what you feel. Like, you know how they egg you on and you know it's bad, but you gonna say it anyway. Like, ooh.
Period. And he did.
He
and
said
he
did that.
I absolutely loved everything about what they did because they did not remove the shit that's actually real shit and shit that people go through and what they have to do to get to the other side of when you say you love, this is what love looks like. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was real.
Yeah, I mean, and I thought it was authentic to show that he wasn't gonna be all super progressive, right? I mean, he's a football player, he's a jock, and you know, he's a single dad, and he's trying to figure out his own shit. And then here, this like for him, what feels like a bomb being dropped. But I liked how everybody was kind of involved with the plot in some kind of way in terms of how each person discovered it a little bit differently. And I like that it all did boil down to acceptance and respect, because I think a lot of times when we talk about these discussions, it's like woke politics. You know, I hate the white people have done it. Woke politics, and it's about politically correct and this and the other. And I thought it was really important to show the humanity and the stakes for, you know, people who are going through something that is not necessarily accepted by society, being non-binary or being, you know, and it wasn't even about his sexuality because he didn't know what his sexuality was. The gender and sexuality are not necessarily hand in hand. So I just thought there was a lot of nuance to it that was really, 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 really important. Ashley, your thoughts?
I have to agree. I think it was realistic, you know, and that's what made it such a great storyline between those two. You know, I love that he had the support from everybody else. I love Quentin would be my number 2 for MVP because he was the one that was calling everybody out and bringing them back to the reality of their situation and asking the right questions. You know, he's really always been like that aside from being crazy. But like he really was asking LJ, so does your dad know? And when LJ said no, what? He was like, fair enough. Okay.
Right.
You know, so I really enjoyed that. Only thing that I'm gonna say maybe it's something that I need to check within myself when it comes to it, because it's still really new to me as well, saying them, they, you know, and trying to figure out the language and be respectful, you know, at the same time, but then you know what you've been raised. I know there's a fine line with it. And it was that one scene where they were looking for LJ. They went to the friend's house and he was trying to ask about his son, and the person just kept correcting him.
Yes.
And I'm watching this scene and I'm getting irritated because I'm like, dude, this ain't the moment to do this shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's a frantic father. He's trying to find his kid that he ain't known where been for 2 days. Like, you really are harping on something that, and I don't mean to say it like this. I'm really not trying to be insensitive, but for me, it looks like that's not important right now. Like, where his safety is, or their safety is important right now. So it was like, is this a moment that, you know, it really made me open my eyes, like, maybe it really is that fucking important. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is their identity. So I enjoyed all of it. You know, for me, my favorite line that caught me and kind of teared me up, he said, why does God love me unconditionally, but you can't love me unconditionally? It took me out.
So good.
It took me out because you're sitting here saying God first. We in a church, you preaching all this, and you can't even love me unconditionally, but God can. Yeah, if
But
they wanted it would be because of that storyline, because it was so great. It was so well played.
well, they gonna at least get an NAACP image.
They gonna get an
For sure.
They gonna get a BET award
Now,
though.
bitch, I'm
Yeah.
gonna riot if they don't get
gonna
it.
vote for them. I'm gonna be on there with my 10 texts a day,
Voting.
best man final time. No, but you know what? I mean, and I get it. I think that it was intentional for Lex. And you know what's funny, because I was thinking, well, what are Lex's pronouns? That's what I was thinking. You know, like, are they them or whatever? But I think that it was intentional, is because safety, right, is why he's fled. He wasn't safe at home. He has a father who's violating his privacy, going through his stuff. I don't think that's okay. You know, we're not talking about a 12-year-old. We're talking about a teen, a late teen, somebody who can go intern and go to football. So I think that was a violation. And I think that Lex's point that they were driving home was, you know, I'm still considering their safety by demanding that you recognize them as a person, as opposed to like, I just want to find a rural room. Okay, but what happens then? What's next? You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a good move that they did it, and I knew that would be like jarring to the audience. Like, why are you talking about that shit? But that's why he fled in the first place. Well, they fled. I shouldn't say. That's why they fled in the first place. You know. But I just think that I think it's good to just take that moment and just, you still have to respect the person's humanity, you know? And to be honest, I sometimes when I see they, them, I'll be like, okay, well, who else are we talking about? You know, I've had that reaction a couple times. I'll be like, well, shit, I thought we were only talking about one person. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I check myself. It's not a bias thing. It's just because it's like
the English language.
Jamila says struggles referring to single person as plural. But I just think that it's just, as you are intentional about saying somebody's name correctly, you're intentional about a number of things. You should be intentional about using a person's pronouns. So I love that. Let's see. Karina says, the only pushback I have is folks who want to replace mother with birthing parent. It's disrespectful who women carry children, in my view, and I don't expect folks to agree that's okay. I don't think that. So there is a push to include birthing parent in language. That's more so of an academic or healthcare setting. That's not to say that you can't call a mother a mother. I'm a mother. You know, we're mothers. But we're also birthing parents. Not all mothers are birthing parents. Some mothers are mothers through marriage, or marriage through adoption, or marriage through foster, or any number of situations. So I don't think that it diminishes mothers to use the word birthing parent. I don't think it diminishes birthing parents to use the word mothers. I just think the language is about expanding our view. And so often we want to keep it like what we're comfortable with, when I actually think it's very enriching to understand a variety of experiences, you know? So, I mean, let's take Gabrielle Union. She's been invoked a couple of times, right? Gabrielle Union is not a birthing parent. She did not physically give birth to her daughter, but her egg and her husband's sperm made their daughter. So, and even if that weren't the case, she would still be a mother. But my point is that I just think that language is meant to be inclusive. And I think we got to stop pushing back against being inclusive and recognizing other people's experiences. Any other comments on that? Anybody else want to chime in? No? Okay.
Yeah, because I be raising these bitches out in the street. So
too. Right.
These bitches is my sons.
So yeah, mommy over here.
I feel my thing with the whole LJ and like the Lex scene, it kind of just, it brought me back to like my friend. I had a friend at one point whose child is non-binary, and her and her husband were the last ones to find out. And she was freaking out about, oh, safety this, safety that. And I'm like, girl, you just the last one to find out. So if something were to happen to your child, their friends are going to be the ones that are going to be helpful and whatever, because they know what's going on. But you're just the last one to find out. It's not like, you know, it's a big deal because it is new to us, but you're just the last one to find out. And I appreciated that Lex was on Lance's head about using proper pronouns because for one, Lex knew that LJ was safe or essentially safe, but it was just like, I want to make sure I do my part to where when you go get my friend, you know how to, refer to them and respect their wishes, or else I'm not gonna fucking help you. If my friend was missing and their parents came looking for them and they where my motherfucking son or where my son, I'm be like, first of all, that's why they don't want to be bothered with your ass. So I'm not gonna have no part in it. Yes, I was like, I just, y'all know I love, those are my people. I love my folks. I miss working with them so much. And I just loved everything about that storyline. And it was really, really good. And I hope that, younger people who are watching it knows that, you do have the support from people. You just gotta be able or willing to take that chance and live out loud, because you never know who's gonna come to your support or your aid. And I also found it interesting that Lance, he kept talking to God like, please bring him back and wake him up and woo, woo, woo. And the whole time he's sitting in church getting word that really fulfills him and makes him even more confident in who he is. God is changing you. So,
and I love that he did that. That's where it eventually came back to. Is like, he eventually said, God, please change me. And when his prayers before were change him. So I think that, we talk so much about, mental health and, let's not wait until somebody has committed, self-harm or whatever the situation may be. Let's affirm each other. And I'm not saying that on my soapbox because I'm not the perfect person. I'm not an angel or whatever. But I just think in terms of just recognizing each other's humanity, that's basic. Come on, that's basic. That's not even a reflection of them. That's a reflection of you. Can you affirm other people's humanity? If you can't, I don't know, examine that. So, but yeah, I loved it. I thought that was such a brilliant way of handling it in a way that didn't feel so on the nose. And I like that they talked about, with the whole interview with the cops, and the cops were like, well, we have to consider this and we have to consider that. That was so important. And so there are some times where I feel like there's like there's sometimes these plots are in there and it's just too like on the nose, like it's just too obvious. This one I feel like really served a greater purpose for that. So I love everything about that. And LJ was just so adorable. You know what I'm saying? Like they were getting it.
Bro, I was cracking up when he went to stuff that big ass shoe and that little backpack. I was like, now LJ, you need your duffel bag, but gone with those ass cute. Yeah, I like that. I liked it. I really did enjoy. I'm telling you, Lance was it.
So Jamila says,
Lance Sullivan did no wrong.
Look, Lance brought it back in the end. Okay. I found it interesting that LJ wanted Lance's respect, but didn't respect his father to let him know first. I think that really pushed his ego even more with the added pressure, right? Processing. It's not about respect. It's about a safe space. And, ultimately, every person has the right to determine what they want to reveal, to who they want to reveal it to, when they want to do it. There are people that are close to me that didn't tell me something, like about their sexuality. And I was just like, for a while I was like, well, damn, did I do something? Like, was I not, open enough, or was I not welcoming enough? And maybe I wasn't, but ultimately I said, I'm not going to center myself and I'm not going to put myself in it. I'm just going to say that they needed the time that they needed to come around to me. And, all I can do when that happens is just be and not let them down in that moment and show them that at least going forward, whatever hesitancy you might have felt in the past going forward, I'm a safe space, So I just think it shouldn't be about unless you're trying to improve how you act, if there's something that you really fell short on, that's a fair thing. But just to say, well, somebody owes me respect and tell me first. No, they don't. They don't.
No, I mean, especially when he grew. The thing is, he grew up in a religious household, so how he's been hearing whatever message we can assume homophobic messages through religion his whole life. So to know that his father follows that down to a T, and his mother did as well, I don't feel like it was disrespectful at all that he, because Lance quickly, almost immediately associated it to sexuality, which the two are not mutually exclusive.
Mhm.
You didn't have I who has to run around talking to their parents about who they fucking? Nobody. Just like you don't have to go home and tell your mama every time you got a new nickname or something. Like, I don't feel that was a lack of respect at all. I feel like he was waiting until he got old enough and could ask for that mutual respect and understanding. He was a child, and we know how they get down in religious households. A child stays in their place. They don't do this. They don't do that. They respect rules. In this house, we honor God. All that. So I don't get where the notion that him not sharing it with his dad's first was a lack of respect. I don't get that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Karina
I mean,
said-
like, Lance is violent too. So
Lance will slap a nigga.
he
Okay.
will in a beat. He is violent with his
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
self,
you know how to whoop some ass. Yeah.
Lance will get in that ass. Okay.
baby. Period.
But Karina
Lance
says, help me
can get in
understand
that
why
ass.
LJ would dress as he chooses, knowing he and Lance were in the same house, not at the party if he wasn't in the same space. So he wasn't dressed. He was dressed, I would say, I don't want to say normally, traditionally. What happened was his video, their video was posted, and Shelby saw the video because she has a burner account that she follows her daughter on. And that is what she played on accident. So it wasn't like he was like, had a dress on in the back room with Lance in the front room. It was a video they had shot earlier.
He did have makeup on though. He had makeup on, but that was it. His outfit was pretty masculine.
Yeah, but you know what? With all the shit that's going on in the world, like, is that really something to be that worried about? I don't know. Eyeliner.
Yeah, he had a smoky eye and a red lip, baby. He had on makeup.
Oh, he did. Okay. I don't remember that part. Okay. But again, I don't know. Just for me, like, I don't know. I just every day, I've never felt more mortal than when I had my daughter. And I just, every day I just look at her and I'm just obsessed with her and I'm just like in awe of her. And whatever she chooses to do with her life, I will just be like, just please, Lord, I just want to be around to see it. I'm not saying I hope if she's a bum, I'll be okay with that. But I'm just saying, like, if she makes choices that aren't necessarily what I would have envisioned for her, as I just want to be around to be a support system and help guide her, in whatever she's doing and standing in it, So I mean, I don't know. If I'm old enough to see her, I don't know what the fuck, cut her hair into a mohawk and put big old holes in her ears, I would be aghast. But I would be like, you know what, bitch, you're here, you're alive, you're seeing this. This is beautiful. She's healthy. Like, what else? I mean, it's worse shit that can happen. So anyway, okay, moving on. Let's get to so we talked about LJ, Lance. Okay, so Lance, we've already salivated over Lance, but ultimately the show ends with Lance getting engaged or being engaged. Was there a scene where he told people he was engaged? Because I feel like I thought I saw a trailer where he says, I'm getting married. Maybe I completely made that.
When they showed up, when they were at the little reception after Harper won his prize, the girl was showing off her ring.
Right.
But
so that was it though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they must have just got engaged. They could have gotten engaged like the night before. That's how I took it. Like they just got engaged.
Fine.
Yeah. I feel like, we could have got less of the dissertation part or the rest of the PhD shit and a little bit more.
They could have shaved off a lot of like fucking.
We could have got some freaky dicky with
Robin. Yeah,
That's
all. It's all good. Maybe.
Are they doing a season 2?
They say they're not, but I feel like they have at least another movie or something in the can, No,
something, because they left. They're gonna want to put Jordan and Harper together.
Oh, you know what they can do? They could do another movie. I don't know if you need a whole another series, but they could do another movie where it starts off, fellas, I'm getting married, and then it's Harper and Jordan getting married. That would be cool. And then there's like this whole come to Jesus moment where they go back to what really happened the night. Did Jordan and Harper fuck the night of the premiere? Like all this shit can go up.
Though. They didn't though.
They got interrupted by Quentin.
But remember when they came back? They came back after that. They came back
to her house.
Yes, because
they came back to the house.
Yeah, because remember that scene where it was like they were going back through it, and so they were in the hospital and I'm good, I'm fine, and so they circle back and they show little movements. I was like, so they must have done it.
Okay, so
y'all let me know if I'm seeing things.
No, because there was a second scene back at the house. But I thought it was just like an alternative scenario. I wasn't clear on if it really happened or what.
Well, because what happened was Harper had fast forward to when Robin wants her divorce or whatever. Harper had started writing scenes for the sequel of the movie.
Right.
So he had found his little legal pad with a scene written about him and Harper fucking. So that's where, it was the flashback where it showed them going a little further was
it was like red, right? Is that the scene y'all talking about? It was like red light.
No, it was the same exact scene.
They were just going further.
Interrupted by the phone. They fell on the couch kissing or whatever. That was a rewrite of the scene. That was like a scene
that was a different version of that's what I thought.
Okay.
Because you remember she read his little legal pad and told him to write the book, and they squashed
I remember that.
Well, she read the legal pad again, and it had him writing a scene for the sequel of the movie where him and Jordan fucked. But then when they was walking through the park later on, and he was like, Harper was like, yeah, we need to try it again and not get interrupted by no phones and no this and no that. They got interrupted by the phone.
So we know that they did not fuck.
Yeah, Shelby called and he accidentally answered Harper's phone, and that's why they were so dumb.
Harper accidentally ordered Jordan.
Okay, so they did not. Okay.
No, they did not have
something. They can go beyond what their lives. But remember, Terrence Howard said he retired from acting.
He foolish. I'm a tweet him. I'm gonna get on his Instagram and be like, you was the best part of the damn show. Knock it off.
So let's end on, to me, the highlight of the whole series. I did not in a million years expect Quentin and Shelby to be the highlight of the series, but they gave everything. They gave everything, and every scene gave everything for me. So since we've been at this for a while, and I know we all get tired, everybody just give me your favorite moment, or if you have something that you feel like they could have explored more, like what is your commentary on Quentin and Shelby, starting with you, Ashley?
I don't know if it's the airport scene. You know what? I'm gonna be sentimental. I love how she accepted his dad, that relationship between the two of them, and how like Quentin was so vulnerable, how he just cried in front of his dad, and how when she was like shut up to both of them and took control, that whole three people, I loved it. I loved how she embraced his dad and was like, we got to take care of your dad. It ain't about, business and this, that. Like, your dad needs our help. Like, I loved all of it. And the dad finally opening up and accepting that that's his family, that they're here to help, and embracing the granddaughter. That aspect of Shelby and Quentin really felt different. because we've never seen anything related to the dad and like their relationship. So I would love if they do come back for a season 2. I want to know a little bit more about Shelby. Like, what's her background? Where her parents at? You know,
that's a good thing. Yeah, 100%. Yep, that's true. Because she sure got married without her parents there or her daughter.
Her daughter, parents, nobody was there. Yeah. I would want to know more about that.
Yeah. And Julie says also very topical to this age group, dealing with Asian parents. Loved it. Yeah. I thought that was so good. That was a great story arc. Erica, you're next.
I agree with Ashley. I love that touched close to home. But I love that because it's really what's happening. So you see these people. I love that they talked about during the pandemic how they suffered a financial hit because of the closing of the hotel. Like that's real stuff. And so it's like, okay, well, let's take stock of everything that's happening. And then you go into the place where Wellington, he starts having memory issues. So I really appreciated them folding what's happening with folks who, you know, like, I love them exploring this thing called aging because, you know, being young is a wonderful thing, but we're not there for, you know, a long period of time. So it wasn't about holding on to the youth. It was more about embracing life changes. And then how are we going to handle this? Because when Quentin was talking to his dad and he was like, what would mom think about this? My heart broke because I'm thinking to myself, that man really loved that woman. So that was his wife, you know, that was his mom, but that was his wife. And just seeing how that really hit him and really touched his spirit. I agree with you all. Shelby and Quentin are the MVP. I feel like Malcolm owes us another movie, but I really, really love that they really folded in things that people are actually managing. And it doesn't matter the level of success.
Yes, that's so true.
Those issues, they come by and touch you. Sometimes it's a touch and sometimes it's a hold on. And you still navigate through that with friends and all other responsibilities. So I agree with you, Ashley. That was my part too. Yeah, that was my shit.
And I love too, you spoke about aging, you know, when Shelby said she's gonna quit fighting aging. She's like, "Fuck it, a bitch is getting old."
When she saw that young girl, I love that too. When she saw that young girl who was like a correspondent and she was getting all of the attention, it was like, "Yep, time for me to kind of roll forward." So I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, we're not young that long, you know. I mean, it feels long because most of your life is young until you're not young anymore, and you're like, damn, you know. And young is also, you know, relative. But I love that we're getting content that's not about being in your 20s, being in your 30s. Because some of the stuff I be watching, I'm like, I can't relate. Like, you know, it's too young. Like, okay, like for instance, Ari Lennox, she's not obviously doing stuff, but I like her music, but her music is like really young. Like, and it's, you know, like she's talking about her getting an apartment and shit. And I'm like, girl, that's the. And I love her lyrics. I love her voice. She's talented, but it's just very young for me.
I'm so far off from that.
Did that sound elitist or what was the
word? Like, I mean, you remember them days, you get an apartment, you on an air mattress for a few weeks.
I'm in a new apartment, okay?
No, but like this is her like first thing, and that's like beautiful at that age. That's beautiful. I'm just saying, I'm grown as fuck. Like I have a fucking $13,000 boiler bill right now, okay, for my house. So like I can't relate to some of this younger shit. I celebrate
can't sing those lyrics, baby.
I know. I can't. And I'm here for it. And I love the young girls doing their things. I love the people doing their things. But that's just not my ministry right now. So
like, what's that girl, Queen Naija? She got that song, "I Held You Down While We Was Homeless." Who does that?
I don't know her music.
Yeah, I held you down when you was homeless, and now you talking reckless. I'm like, wow, they doing that.
Not
my ministry. So I just appreciate.
Please don't do that, y'all.
I appreciate seeing people in their 40s. People who've been in relationships for 5+ years. You know, it's not just all about first dates and this and the other. So everything was given for me, but that fucking a bitch is getting old shit. I loved that.
Yes,
because it is what it is. Like, you know, everybody has their season. You can't keep up with the youngins because, to be honest, The youngins can't keep up with us.
They can't keep
Would
up.
you come all the way through?
Hello. Hello. Why are we competing when we've already been there, done that, got a t-shirt?
I can't do it with these young motherfuckers no more moment like a couple of months ago. I was like, you know what? I'm sticking with my fucking age group and up because we know how to party, we know how to handle business, and we know when to go to fuck to sleep. I'm not doing it.
We're not running out on no bills.
We're not splitting bills. We're not doing any of that shit. Like, it's just, I can't do it. But, live and get to where you gotta go. But no, I'm done trying to impress.
And things change so rapidly now. So
yeah.
So y'all can keep that shit.
It's okay, because you know what? I'm shitting on 20-something-year-old Reese all day, every day. Okay, 20-something-year-old, even 30-something-year-old,
39-year-old
that bitch
season is a problem compared to 19, 25-year-olds. I'm a fucking problem. Right?
I'm a whole problem, bitch. Okay, the fuck. She ain't seeing me, bitch. She wishing for me. Like 20-something-year-old will look at me and be like, "Damn, bitch, I'm gonna be like you when I grow up." You know what I'm saying? So like, the fuck, why would I be competing with a young bitch? But anyway, that was a whole tangent.
Oh, I did. We gotta
go. We gotta go to this because you're right. We did not address that. I related to Jordan being sad about not being pregnant. I'm an only child, 38 with no kids, and scared I'll never have my one biological child.
Karina.
Yes.
Girl. I thought that was important that they showed that because the other thing, Asian, like when a woman is going to menopause, perimenopause, menopause, it mimics those same. And so I was like, oh shit, we're seeing this on TV and it's a Black woman. Like, I felt like that was really important to see. So I'm sad for her, but
I like the fact that they gave her the moment to be vulnerable.
Yes.
They have kept her as this strong Black woman throughout this whole entire movie and series, and she a boss bitch and nothing gets to her, blah, blah, blah. But this was something that was so relatable because I'm 38 with no kids, and I'd be lying if I said the thought of me never having kids hasn't crossed my mind, or that fear hasn't set in. But I couldn't imagine having or getting so used to the idea of I'm not going to have kids, and then having this pregnancy scare that gives you that hope and it's taken away. I mean, I felt for her. I really enjoyed that she took that moment, even in the midst of Lance's chaos. She took that moment for herself and spoke her truth.
Yes.
I'm sad. I'm sad about this. That I needed to see because it made me feel like I'm not the only one. Like, I know I'm not the only one, but it felt like I was seen and not the only one. So I really did.
Good. I love that.
And when we're probably of the generation where a lot of our parents had us younger, they had us in alternative circumstances, and so for me, I'll just speak for me and Season because we grew up together. Obviously, we grew up hearing like, live your life, you know what I'm saying? Do things the quote unquote right way, get married first, then have kids, and and nobody tells you
that it's gonna take a while.
It's gonna take a while.
Period.
That it's gonna take a while to find you a man that's good as fuck to you. It's gonna take a while. They don't tell you that. They make it seem like it's gonna happen at 23, 24. You're gonna be fresh out of college. He's gonna be a college sweetheart. And for some women, kudos to y'all that has happened for you. But for majority of us, it takes a while to get there, and they don't tell you that part. They don't.
And they don't tell you that when your old ass get pregnant, they call it a geriatric pregnancy.
Anything after 35. Yep.
At 35, it's geriatric pregnancy. They don't tell you all the fucking tests they're going to have. They don't tell you about all the statistics that fucking scare you to death and make you live in fear or have to manage your fear the entire time. They don't tell you all that shit. They just tell you, go live life, have fun. That's why I have no judgment for how anybody chooses to do anything when it comes to being a birthing parent.
Being a birthing parent.
Being a mother. But I do think that it was really, really important to show that. I mean, I think we've been there. You know, if you want to have a kid, you're getting up there in age and you get a pregnancy test and you're like,
it's negative.
It's negative. Sometimes that can be so crushing because you're just like, oh my God, like this could have been it because I am a week late. So this could be it. And then it's not it. And it's like, fuck, okay, well, bitch, what's going on? But, you know, it's important to show that. And I don't think, and I like that it wasn't done in a punitive way. It wasn't trying to like punish her or make her seem like you're bad. You should have put more priority because you do look back and you're like, damn, like, how fuck did I get here? You know?
But I'm happy she wasn't a baby mama. Oh, I would have been sad.
But I don't think I wouldn't have had a problem with that though. Like that's okay though.
With the Jordan dude, Jordan with that dude,
he has money.
I wouldn't have had a problem with that. I wouldn't have had a problem with that at all.
Yeah, but he was not attractive. I did not want that.
And I was so disappointed. Like,
I was too.
Really? Why?
But I think I actually think that would have been interesting to show. Like, here's a person who, like, you know, had everything under control, and here's his baby that's like wasn't planned for it. But
she's a side chick who got pregnant, bitch. That's what she would be. She would be a side bitch that got pregnant.
Dang,
I don't know. I would
starting to get on the side chick train with her.
Side chick,
girl on the train.
I'm starting to get on the side chick train.
Yes,
I know.
She's not my husband. Don't be the side chick to my husband, but a fictional husband, okay.
Could you imagine if she and Harper got together and they named their baby
Robin?
I don't want to see them together. I never want to see Harper and Jordan together.
I think Tay Diggs needs to go on and get him a white woman like he did in real life.
No, because he's with April now. Hello. He got a black girlfriend.
Him and April?
Yeah, they've been together for a while. Look, Tay Diggs follows me on Twitter. He might be watching right now. Hey, Tay.
Hi, Tay.
Okay, Diggs. Okay, you still cute though. I ain't gonna hold it. Right. You still fine.
Tay Diggs pulled a Russell Wilson. He let the white girl gobble the black girl. Like, yes,
he did. Oh, but let's say this about Harper. Baby, those looks he was giving. Like when the rolling up, the looks he was giving, dressed.
Oh yeah, he was dressed. I like that
but
red.
Also kind of like the looks he was doing, like when he saw the limo driver and he was like, he always had like the funniest facial expressions. Excuse me, but yeah, like his facial expression game is like tight.
I appreciated them collectively as a group because they would watch each other do some wild shit and be like, you know what, that ain't. I already know how this nigga is or how this bitch is. That shit was so funny.
And I think really that the heart and the reason why I gave it a 9.9.
That's high, bro.
The heart for me it was a 9.9. For me it was a 9.9. I think the heart of it still is friendships and sisterhood and brotherhood. Like the scene where they come over to Harper's place to play poker and they just walk in. I mean, come on. That was fucking amazing.
That's dope. That's how you do
that. 9.9 when P Valley is a 10. This ain't no P Valley, bro. It's
a different genre. It's a different genre. But for me, it gave me everything I needed. It gave what it was supposed to have gave for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Could it have been better? Sure. But it gave what it was supposed to have gave for me. Because to me, Quentin and Shelby, that's a 10 right there. That's a 10 right there. Okay. Final comment. Because we're getting mixed comments in the comment.
Yeah, they
are you rooting for Harper and Jordan? Season already said no. No. Just me.
And I'm gonna say why, because
you're gonna lose them. You're gonna lose them how you got them, girl.
No, but they are divorced. They're divorced. So.
And I don't think it would last either. I mean, like Harper's ego, I think really he has to be the center of his own universe. I don't see anybody with him. I don't.
You think? I don't think that Harper's that bad. Harper went to couples counseling. Robin didn't open up her dumbass mouth. She was a little flighty. She moved to Ghana. I don't think that Harper is as big of a villain. Now, I will say that I don't think that the series sold Harper and Jordan as this like cosmic, like they were always destined to. They're not carrying big. Like they didn't sell me that. Yeah. So I don't get why she was single all these years and blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying for the sake of the show, I'm still rooting for them. Harper was willing to go back there. But see, I think Harper wasn't that bad. S. Murphy is with me. Okay. All right. We got the question. What are we recapping next? My husband's calling me in the bedroom. We're Ooh, y'all know what's coming back in February. Harlem. We have to do another Harlem recap.
Thank you. Yeah.
We did a Harlem recap and that was fun. So I don't know what all this next. We might get something in January, whatever, but 100% let's all commit to come back for Harlem in February.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we got it. Okay, listen. We've been here a long time. I thank you, ladies, for joining us. Karina says, I can't wait for Harlem. Yes, it's been fun. This has been so much fun. We got a chance to rap about it. We didn't recap everything that happened, but y'all got the gist of it because y'all watched it already. Season, Erica, Ashley, thank you. Any other final words?
No, I had a good time.
This was a good one. This was definitely a good one.
So much fun. Thank you guys for having me on.
Welcome, Erica. You got to come back, girl. You got to spot with us. Thank you.
You all are who? I've sent the YouTube, like Reese's the last one, and my friends were like, bitch, yeah.
Run the World is coming back. I feel like there's some good stuff coming next year. Oh, Bel Air. Did you guys watch Bel Air?
I was just about to say, yes.
Y'all didn't
now
like
I got a Peacock log
that we do Bel Air.
I don't like the remakes. I'm sorry. Like I grew up on Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I'm like, and they're redoing House Party. So I'm just like,
I don't know if House Party is gonna be good. But Bel Air, I liked Bel Air because I liked that Bel Air wasn't a comedy. They weren't redoing the comedy. They did a dramatic spin on it. I loved it, but it is a little young, but I still thought it was good. So okay, but at least we all agree on Harlem. Run the World is another one, but Run the World is a weekly show. Harlem, they do all the episodes at one time. So we're going to be back next year. Y'all have a happy, safe new year. See y'all in 2023.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.